Hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Boss Babes. Thank you so much for joining us. And we have a special announcement. I'm really excited to let you all know that we are now currently on Spotify. Not all of the episodes are up there yet, but you could find about 8 or 9 episodes, so definitely go on Spotify and check them out. I know that you love listening to us here, but if you're on a car ride and want to listen to us on your car ride, sitting in traffic, of course the Boston traffic can be brutal. Check us out on Spotify. I want to pop up this really awesome photo of Emma. A lot of you guys know we've been talking about her and her involvement with Boss Babes. You guys know that we go behind the scenes with your favorite local athletes and sports entertainers. We take you to charity events and show you what they sort of do on and off the field. And Emma is going to be very much a part of Boss Babes still, but what she decided to do was go behind the scenes herself and check out other types of charities. For example, over the weekend she was at the Cape and covered a really fun event involving canines, so that's why I showed her and her dog Shandy. So you guys can see Emma. She'll be popping up into studio with us sometimes. She's taking a bit of a hiatus. That's her dog Shandy right there. She will be in studio hopefully sometime in April, and like I said, you will be seeing her at some local events with us as well. So that's Emma. You guys can keep up with her on social media and look for her new blog because, again, she is covering different charity events every other week. But since Emma's not in studio, I want to introduce my very sexy co-host. You guys know who she is, Andrea Cadigan.
Hey. Third time's a charm. This is my third time back.
This is
right?
Third time is a charm. She was actually, we'll show her photo really quickly. She's a Boston area native and New England Patriots cheerleader. So
I thought you were about to say Boston Patriot.
I almost did, and I caught myself because I've been thinking about the Boston Red Sox because it is Red Sox season. But Andrea has been in studio 3 times. She was actually our very first guest, and she's co-hosted with me before.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. We have a good show tonight.
We have such a good show. So let's recap with you. You recently just wrapped up the Patriots season. So how was that for you?
It's sad because, you know, for 3 years, I usually end with a Super Bowl, but you know, that's okay. It wasn't our year. I think big things to come for next season for sure. They're not done. Still got some Tom Brady news to come out. He's not going anywhere. I still believe that surely. I don't know about you, but all those rumors out there, I'm like, he's not leaving.
I am so happy that you are in studio because I wanted to hear from your mouth, what do you think is going to happen with the whole Tom Brady situation? I truly believe that he's going to stay in New England. I think it would be foolish of him to leave for a season or two to play with another team to tarnish his reputation.
Yes. Well, I think I'm a little, I mean, I love Tom Brady. Everyone loves Tom Brady from New England. I'm a little disappointed in this kind of, like, why Tom's been so great is he stayed out of the drama a little bit. Like, he's never been that guy to, like, keep you questioning. You always know where you stand, like, where he stands. So I feel like right now he's kind of playing games, but he's not going anywhere. He's absolutely not going anywhere. There's been rumor, you know, that he just wants better players. That's all he said. He doesn't want more money. He just wants the right players to win games, and I think they'll do that for him.
And I love that you were saying that. I've been saying the same exact thing. I personally don't think it's about a paycheck either.
No.
Let's look at this. Him and Giselle have enough money to basically buy every state in America if they want to.
She's got it covered, yeah.
They don't need the money. I just think he really wants to have, he needs a great tight end. Mm-hmm. He needs a couple more receivers. Yep. He needs the players around him to throw to make those touchdowns, because if not, it's just, you have a great quarterback and nobody to make the plays for you. So how are you going to make it to another Super Bowl if you don't have those great players surrounding you? So I'm so happy that you made that point.
Absolutely. He's not going anywhere. Absolutely not. So I think, like I said, they're gonna be rallying up some new players for the summer. Let's see what happens.
And speaking of tight ends, so both you and I are really good friends with the Gronkowski brothers, and you're really good friends with former New England Patriot cheerleader Camille Kostak.
Yes.
And you were just down at Gronk Beach, so set the scene for us at Gronk Beach.
Also, I want to say it's so funny. Yes, because I had no intention of going to the Super Bowl this year. You called me, a few months ago. I was with Matt Roboto, and we were driving to go film an episode of the Boston DM show, and you called us on our way back, and you're like, guys, like, I want to go to Super Bowl. Like, we can go to Gronk Beach, blah, blah, blah. And, like, Matt was like, yeah, let's do it. And I kind of was like, yeah. I had zero intention of actually going.
And then you ended up going.
And then I ended up at the Super Bowl somehow. I just can't stay away. But it was so fun. It was last minute. But like I said, I feel like once, you know, I've been going for 3 years. And I went with 2 of my friends.
You went with Zoe,
who was a former New England Patriots cheerleader, and we just kind of went down. We had like a bunch of like parties lined up, and
did you guys go to does Maxim Magazine do a party down there, or Barstool Sports?
So we went to Barstool. But of course, like the one weekend I'm in Miami, the weather was crap. And
I saw you guys get soaked.
Oh my God. Like I literally could show you videos. Like it was a monsoon. Like it downpoured and like we were just completely wet. So that was at Barstool. That was like the first night we were there, and we were supposed to head, I think, to Maxim that night, but it ended up getting shut down.
Really?
Yeah, so
interesting.
Yeah, didn't make it, but we were at the Rolling Stones party, Gronk Beach, which was so much fun. I know, I wish you could have made it down.
Honestly, the reason why I didn't end up going is because I don't know if I can talk about it or not yet, but I was waiting to hear back from the Celtics organization to potentially be their MC for the Red Claws.
Ooh.
So, and I'll talk about that in the future. I can't say anything just yet, but the reason why I decided not to go was because I was waiting for that opportunity, and if I did get it, I didn't want to have something booked and be like, oh my God, now I can't take this job position.
Other opportunities.
Yes, but I loved living vicariously, watching you and Zoe having such a great time through your Instagram stories. Walk us through Gronk Beach, because we all know that the Gronkowski brothers, to party with them is such a fun time. So how was it?
Probably exactly like everyone would think, at their parties. But it's crazy because in Miami, one thing that I found like shocking is the security is so insanely tight. Like it is so hard to like get into places, do things, unless you have that connection. So even for some of the parties, like 50 Cent was performing and they were like, yeah, no, like you can't come in. They were like, we're at capacity. I'm like, but like, you know what I mean? Like it was so crazy. So like it was packed in there as it is. And then to like be backstage while everything's going on, Flo Rida was there, like all the performers. It was so much fun. It rained a little bit, but it wasn't that bad, but we still just had a great time. It was crazy. It was I don't even know how to explain it. There was so much going on. Like it was awesome.
I can't wait to see the hype video. I don't think they've released any hype
I don't think
footage
so
yet.
Either.
I'm sitting in a waiting. Like I lightly talked to Gordy about it. I've seen photos, but I haven't seen any videos yet. I'm gonna actually have. You should co-host that episode with me. I'm gonna have Gordy in sometime this summer.
Totally.
And we'll talk to you guys all about Gronk Beach and how
He'll
much
probably
of a
have
wild
more
time
to say, yeah. But it was so much fun. Like the whole setup, like he did a great job. Just the whole thing. I know a lot of people thought like, oh, this is gonna be a flop. There was a lot of talk of like, oh, this is stupid, blah blah blah. But if Gronk's throwing a party, it's gonna be a party.
It's gonna be a good time. And speaking of Florida, so we want to cut to some great photos right now. Spring training. We all know that the Red Sox are down at spring training, as well as all the other baseball teams are down there. I'm actually going to be going to spring training in 2 weeks. I'm super excited about that. Not to see the Red Sox, though. I'm going to be down there to see the Toronto Blue Jays, which I'm pumped about. I've never been to spring training. But we're going to pop up a quick photo of Andrew Benintendi. What do you think about this photo? They're kind of like doing, this is one of their media photos that they took the other day. They're kind of taking like the GQ magazine approach.
I'm into it.
Very sexy, very fun. It's not your typical baseball photo. What do you think about their media day photo from last week?
I like it. I think it kind of makes you think a little bit.
Yeah, it makes you think like, what's going to be happening this season?
What's he thinking? That's what I want to know. In that photo, he's like running his hands through his hair. I like it. I'm into that.
It's very GQ, very Boston Man magazine like. You could see that as like the cover of Boston Man magazine.
Totally, absolutely. Hey, you never know. We'll see. We'll keep that in the back of the mind. But I think that's a great photo.
I love that photo. And then we have another photo of Big Papi. Obviously, you guys know that Big Papi retired recently, and he's actually going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame this upcoming year. So I wanted to pop that up there. He's down at spring training right now as well, and look at him, he's still killing it. The guy's retired.
That man, what can't he do?
What can't he do? The guy's always going to be involved with the Red Sox organization.
Love him. He's just a Boston, like through and through, Boston man.
He is. He was
like
no
pun intended. Yeah, he was, but not intended. But like he is just such a Boston. Who doesn't love Big Papi?
He's a diehard.
Actually, I have a funny story about Big Papi. Quickly, I went to Soul Cycle months ago, and I was like the earlier classes, and I'm so mad. I did the 8 o'clock class, but if I had done the 7 o'clock class, I was like standing outside like waiting to go in, and like Big Papi came out and like fully like clothed to, like his chains were on, like had a hat on. I was like, he literally works out like exactly how he looks in public. It was amazing. But love Big Papi.
That's a super cool story. I absolutely love that. And you guys know that Andrea is a part of Boston Man magazine with Matt Robato. They have an event coming up this Wednesday. I'm really excited to go to it.
Super excited.
Big Papi was actually on one of his covers. I believe it was it last summer or last fall?
I think that was actually, it was last fall. Summer, like spring, fall, I think. Yeah, around that time. He was the second cover.
And I think in that magazine cover, he actually had on the chains and the sunglasses.
Exactly how you always see him.
Typical,
he'll never change.
Typical
never change,
Big
Poppy.
Don't ever change. We want to cut into our special guest. So Matt Parziale is actually in studio with us. We want to welcome him. He's actually from Brockton, Massachusetts. We're going to jump into this, obviously, down the road during our interview, but he was a Brockton firefighter and also competed at the professional level in golf. Before we get into speaking with him, we want to roll his talent tape so you guys can learn a little bit about Matt Parziale. Let's go.
Hey guys, this is Matt Parziale. I'm from Brockton, Massachusetts, and I won the 2017 U.S Mid-Am. Played hockey most of my childhood. Started playing golf at a young age. Really fell in love with golf when I was 10, 11, 12 when Tiger Woods started winning on the PGA Tour. And it kind of took over as my main sport. But growing up in Brockton was a lot of fun. I had a good group of friends where run around, get in trouble. Some of my favorite places to eat are Cape Cod Cafe, which is a pizza place, which is the best pizza in the world if you ask me, and also Italian Kitchen, which is a block down, and I think that's the best Italian food. I fell in love with golf because I was able to watch Tiger Woods when I was at a young age, and he won the Masters in 1997, and I was 9 years old. So from that, just fell in love with his work ethic and the way he approached the game. I've kind of always tried to do that the way I've played the game. And I've had the family support from my mom, dad, and I have a younger sister. They've always supported everything I've ever tried to do, and fully supported me playing golf. So it's been a fun ride, and I've really enjoyed it. So I became a Brockton firefighter after playing professional golf for 3 years. My dad was a firefighter. He retired 3 years ago from the Brockton Fire Department. He ended up as a captain at the last part of his career. And I grew up watching him love his career, enjoying what he did, and just being a part of the guys. And I was fortunate enough to do that. Things have changed since winning the U.S. Mid-Am, but I'll never forget those years. And I was able to fight a fire with my dad before he retired. And we didn't work in the same group because they wouldn't put family members in the same group. But to be able to fight a fire once with him was one of the best moments of my life. Being a firefighter, you always had the sense of a family. And I say that because when something bad would happen, the firefighter community comes together. I remember when I was a kid, 9/11 happened, and my dad and all those guys, they went down to the funerals in New York City week after week. They sent buses down. So to be a part of that's been really special.
Hey guys, so welcome back to the Boss Babes. I also just want to say quickly that we are live on Facebook. So if you have any questions, if you're watching and you want to ask any of us, feel free to ask the questions and we'll answer them along the way.
Exactly. So we are looking at the live feed. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. And we want to jump right into this interview. So welcome, Matt. Thank you so much for coming in studio today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I know that you grew up in Brockton, Massachusetts, and you started off playing ice hockey, then you jumped into golf. But what was your family life like?
It was great. I grew up in a nice neighborhood, bunch of friends. We had a blast. All my friends played hockey, so that's why I did it. But then golf came around, and I fell in love and couldn't look back.
How did that switch? What was the switch into hockey?
I think I just became better at golf.
Yeah.
I wasn't that good at hockey, so just went with my talents.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I know that Tiger Woods sort of was your inspiration, and I know that both your grandfather and your father sort of got you into the sport. Give us some backstory on that.
Yeah, so my dad and my grandfather, they'd take me to the Brockton Fairgrounds, just hit balls in the field when I was 3, 4 years old. And then first time I played in a course was down the Cape with my dad. We joined a course because we spent the summers down there, had so much fun doing that. And it's golf's a disease, it's addicting. It just can't get enough of it.
That's what I've heard. I feel like it's such for like guys though. Guys love to golf.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it drives you crazy. It makes you insane. It's a roller coaster every year, but it just keeps bringing you back. So it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And getting into it, your father was a firefighter.
Yep, he retired 3 years ago.
Retired. Is that why you wanted to get?
Yeah, it's in my opinion, it's the best job in the world. I saw him love his career, love the guys he worked with, had so much fun doing it, and I was just fortunate enough to get on. And then some things changed, so you just kind of go with life. But it literally is the best job in the world.
Wow. Well, good for you.
And I know that both you and your dad actually fought a fire together. Can you walk us through that? What was that experience like? Was it scary? Was it terrifying? And what was the training like to actually become a firefighter? I actually recently kind of not a funny story, but a few months back when we had Charles Rosa in studio, we walked in, we smelled some gas, so we actually had to call the Quincy Fire Department. I didn't even want to call them because I'm like, the show must go on. I'm sitting there like, the show must go on. We have to have the show
You'll
go
find
on.
like something explode behind you. Like,
Something,
it's fine.
Something explodes, and I'm like, hey, it's just we're filming another Transformers movie, guys. We're okay. Right. So kind of a funny story, but Quincy Fire actually showed up, and they actually did a full walkthrough, and they made sure that the studio was okay for us. But I still follow them on Instagram, and I was recently looking at their Instagram, and it showed them doing a training where they had to crawl in small spaces. Mm-hmm. So what is that experience like, fighting a fire with your father and also doing that intense training?
Yeah, I'll start with the training. The training was a 3-month drill school. The city of Brockton runs their own. A lot of the small towns, they send to the Mass Fire Academy, but we had our own right in Brockton. Some of the best training you'll ever have. We did all those small space trainings down in the basement, crawling through tunnels, through all these obstacles, just in case you're in that situation when real life hits when you're in a fire. But then,
are you claustrophobic?
I
would have. Yeah, I would have been. Oh my gosh.
Yes, and when you get in that tube and you can't move, it's like hopefully the guy behind you gives you a little push.
Yeah.
So luckily I
you passed. So
thankfully, barely. So I had some help from friends. So.
Yeah.
But then, like I said in the video, they don't put family members in the same group because if something bad happens. So I was fortunate enough to work overtime in my dad's group one night, and we got a fire just after midnight, and it was literally one of the best moments of my life. I don't even think he knew I was working that night because I was at a different station. But then we got to fight the fire together. It wasn't a big fire, but it was just really cool to do with him. Some things went wrong where it was the winter. We had 7 feet of snow in 3 weeks, so the hydrants were covered, and so.
Oh wow! You don't even think about that living here, right? Like if it's that cold, what do you do in that situation?
Yeah, so it took him a little while to find the water, but once they got it, he was in front, and we just kind of followed him, so it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. I feel like it's one of those things. If you join the fire department, like you tell yourself, like, oh, you hope you never get the call, and then when you do, you're like, oh God, like it's time. Yeah. It's time.
It's the best call to get.
Really?
It really is. Yeah.
I love the fact that you're a first responder too, because on Boss Babes, not only do we go behind the scenes with sports entertainers, which you kind of fit the category for both. You're both a first responder and an athlete. We love the fact that you are a first responder. So we want to talk more about the fact that you're a firefighter, what your involvement was like working basically for the town that you grew up in.
Yeah, so Brockton's a pretty busy city, so every time an ambulance is dispatched, they'd send a fire truck with it just to help, because the stations are spread out throughout the city, so you can be there a little faster. Yeah. So that was their thinking, and we did a lot of the first aid calls, car accidents, people being sick, so helping people all day.
You've probably seen it all, huh?
Yeah, pretty much so, and I only did it for 4.5 years, so I can't imagine my dad did 32, so.
Wow. So
we have a ton of questions. I'm going to ask a couple quick questions, and we'll let you answer them. And I'll actually let Andrea ask a couple as well. So we have Jay.
On here.
Jay is a big fan of golf, and we recently had Megan Kang in studio as well. She obviously knows you, Matt. Jay, here's a quick question. Quick question from Jay. It says, Matt, when you played in the 2018 Mass Amateur Championship over at George Wright in Franklin Park between the two courses, which course was easier for you to play, and which golf hole was your favorite?
So Franklin Park was definitely easier. We only got to play there one day. George Wright was in such good shape that week. That was a blast to play there. My favorite hole on those two courses? It's a tough question. Trying to think. Probably I can't remember the number, but it was the hole that the uphill par 4 that turns left at Franklin Park. I believe it was Matt's favorite hole. So
Jay, we just answered that question for you. And now Andrea is going to ask a question from Chelsea.
Yes. So Chelsea wants to know, are you still a firefighter as you're golfing? And what is your best experience about being a firefighter, and how did it feel?
Yeah, so I'm on leave from the fire department. When all this golf stuff happened, I had a new opportunity in the insurance industry, so I've been doing that for a year and a half. But I've been on leave since then. The city's been great. The mayor, the chief, they've all been very supportive of my decision. So we're going to see how this plays out, but they've been right behind me. And then what was the second part of that?
It was, so what's your, I guess, favorite experience being a firefighter?
Well, fighting fires.
How did it feel?
Fighting fires it's literally the best experience in the world.
Really?
You're there with a group of guys. Everyone's trained. Things go
like
wrong
a family,
at all times.
I'm assuming, right?
And the more it goes wrong, the more fun it is. So
yeah.
thankfully we've never had
Like an adrenaline.
Yes.
Sounds like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
But the best moment was definitely when I got to fight the fire with my dad.
Yes.
So, but yeah, any fire's pretty fun. So.
Any fires. There you go, Chelsea.
And Jay actually has another question. So he wanted to ask you this question because he asked Megan Kang this question a few weeks back. When you're out playing golf, what snacks do you have with you in your golf bag? Do you like to eat snacks? Do you have like a favorite meal that you eat maybe before or after a competition? And what snacks do you carry in the bag? That seems to be everybody's go-to question lately.
So I actually don't think I eat enough when I play. I was thinking this. I was playing a tournament down in Florida these last 3 days, and I haven't been doing it since last year. So I think I need to start eating more. Maybe some bananas, or I gotta get a routine. Maybe I'll ask Megan for some advice on that. So
You should definitely ask Megan for some advice. She was actually telling us that sometimes she packs like cupcakes and stuff. She loves to go all out with her snacks, and I guess her caddy packs snacks for her as well.
I feel like the sugar would like give you a rush or something. So she's much better than I am, so she doesn't have to worry about those things.
Yeah. I actually do see one more question from Mikey. He wants to know, what does your practice routine consist of?
You know, I don't practice that much anymore. I try to play more rounds, play matches, play with friends. Don't get me wrong, I still practice.
Okay.
But when I was playing professional golf and in college, it'd be practice all day, every day. Now it's more of just trying to enjoy it and play rounds.
See, that's something I'd like to know, because I don't golf, but like there's a difference between practicing and then playing the course.
I get more out of playing.
Okay.
And you're hitting different shots. When
Yeah.
you stay on the range, you kind of just groove it, and it's not the same when you go out there. So I feel like I've actually improved more when I've stopped practicing on the range and
go there
and play, and you learn the shots out there and kind of the time in between shots, when things go wrong, when things are going well, how to handle those situations. So that's probably been the biggest change of these last 5 or 6 years where I've started playing some good golf.
So not as much as like a consistent practice of just going to the courses and playing them out.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Well, you guys, we love all the questions. Keep sending them in. You can ask anything that you want to know about golf from Matt, or if you want to hear a little bit more about Gronk Beach or being a Patriots cheerleader. Obviously, we have Andrea Cadigan in studio. Again, thank you guys both for being in. And I want to talk a little bit more about your golf career. So I thought this was super cool. Obviously, I did my research. You played pro for 3 years, and you actually got the invite to, let me see this, the Masters in Augusta on Christmas Eve. You tweeted it out, and it said the best Christmas gift ever, and it happened in 2017, and you got that because you won the U.S. Mid-Am in Atlanta. One of my favorite parts of this whole situation that I read, so Golf Digest did an article on you, and there was a really cool quote in there. It said, Matt is a better person than he is golfer, and he is the best Mid-Am golfer in the country. So how does that make you feel?
Yeah, that was incredible. It's been a fun run. I've always just tried to go about it and have some fun with it. So I've just been fortunate on this ride to it's been fun to compete all over the world. So
those are some great words by Golf Digest.
Yeah. Some excellent words by Golf Digest.
Yeah.
And what was it like getting that invitation in the mail on Christmas Eve?
Yeah, you know it's coming, but then when you actually get it in your hand, it's the best feeling. No other feeling in golf will match that.
Yeah. You can imagine the Masters.
Yeah, when you win the U.S. Mid-Am, you know there's a likely invite to the Masters, so it's going to come. But then when it's actually there, it's a funny story about that invitation. My wife's from Buffalo, New York, so we're driving to Christmas on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
So it's actually raining here. My wife checked the mail the night before and brought in all the stuff. So for some reason, I just looked in the mailbox. She left one thing in there, and it was the invitation. And it was pouring rain. So if
you imagine if you never saw it.
And it would have been soaking wet, like, because my mailbox in my old house was not, it was holes in it. So everything would get wet if you didn't bring it in. So it was a close call.
Wow. Can imagine.
How was competing at the Masters? Did you get to compete against any golfers that you looked up to as a kid?
So I was very fortunate with the practice rounds. I was able to play with Tiger Woods on Wednesday.
And Masters is Augusta, right?
Augusta, yeah.
Augusta.
Yep.
So you played with Tiger Woods?
Yeah, so I played with Tiger on Wednesday. We played 9 holes together with Freddie Couples.
Casual.
Yeah, casual. Just
casual game of golf.
He is the best guy in the world.
Yeah.
Telling jokes, trying to help me. I'm like, hey man, like do your thing. Like I'm just happy to be out here. He's trying
But
to tell
also
me.
help me if you want.
No, I was definitely listening to all the advice he gave, but
Yeah.
he was so nice, and I was fortunate to play with Rory McIlroy on Monday. We played 18 holes together,
Wow.
and he was awesome too. So those guys, that's like Disney World for every golfer. So everyone's in such a good mood. Unfortunately, I didn't play as well as I would have liked, but I had some good stuff happen. I made an eagle, which you get some crystal for that. They send you some nice glasses,
Ooh, okay.
engraved from Tiffany. So
Yeah.
get to take something home
Engraved
from
from
there.
Tiffany's.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sounds like my kind of golf tournament.
I've only drank out of it once, and my buddy who was having the other one, he almost broke it. I think he was so nervous he slammed it on the counter, but it's in one piece, so we're good.
Good.
Yeah, Alex
Good.
Jeffers. So if he's watching, that's him. Yeah.
Did you get starstruck
you.
at all when you saw Tiger Woods? Because you mentioned it in your talent tape that
Yeah.
he was a big inspiration to you.
So it's funny. I met him. He sent me a letter about a week after I won the Mid-Am, and then I met him at his home course in Florida. I just went up and said hi and to say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty tough going to talk to him and say thank you at that time. But once I did, he's just a normal guy.
Well, I'd like to hear that all these guys that you're seeing that you might look up to or watch on TV, that they're nice guys.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that always makes a difference.
You know, golf's a crazy sport where things aren't going well. People might think you're not a nice person just because of the way.
Like it's
golf,
competitive
It drives
and-
you crazy.
Yeah.
Just at yourself, not at the other people. So, but you get them off the course, and everyone's just a normal guy. So
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I can imagine it's a great environment.
That sounds super exciting, and it's nice to see that not only did you get a letter from Tiger Woods, one of your inspirations, but you also got to play alongside of him. That is super cool and something that you can share with your kids someday if you do end up having kids with your wife. That is incredible. And I have another question from Jeff, and I'm going to have Andrea ask another question shortly. Jeff, who is watching right now, hey guys, we do see all of your questions. Feel free to keep asking them. We see them all live. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know that we have a great guest in tonight, Matt Parziale, and we also have special guest host Andrea, and you guys will be seeing her more often because she absolutely kills it in studio as well. But Jeff wants to know, what's the strongest part of your game, and do you agree the biggest mistake for amateur, they don't hit enough club? I'm not exactly sure what that means, but
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Usually they try to hit something that.
So what does that mean?
yeah, what exactly does that mean?
So say you hit your 8-iron 150.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't say that. Say you think you hit your 8-iron 150, you probably hit it 140.
Okay.
Amateurs.
And is that speed?
It's speed, but it's in your mind of how far you actually think you hit
Okay,
things.
okay.
So amateurs can never take enough club, in my opinion.
Okay.
When they're going into the green, like their approach shot or
Okay.
par 3. So yeah.
Okay.
What was the first part of the question? I forgot. I'm not very.
Look back.
Jeff wanted to know, what's the strongest part of your game?
It's so funny. I'd say definitely putting, but driving the golf ball has improved over the last 3 or 4 years. And that's why I've had some more success than I did in the past. I had some issues with getting the ball off the tee 6-7 years ago, but that's probably one of the strongest parts of my game now.
I wanted to bring this up to you guys. I don't know if you saw it. We're going to have Andrea ask another question
I'm
very
looking
shortly.
through.
Andrea's looking for some more questions from you guys, and then we're about to cut to a quick commercial break in about 2 minutes. But I don't know if you guys saw it online on social media. People have been posting this really sweet old woman. She was at, I think it might have been a college basketball game. She literally sunk a putt like across the basketball court and won a freaking car. I
saw that.
Dude, my dad and I watched it, and we both were like, I don't even think a pro golfer could hit that shot.
I
So
couldn't.
do you think
Wait,
like
what-
you or
what was
Tiger
it?
Woods could
Sorry.
hit it? So there was
Reading the question.
there was some type of a contest where this old woman, really sweet old woman, had to sink
Love that.
sink a putt from across the basketball court. She sunk it, dude. I don't know how, and won a free car. So let's ask
Maybe
the
in
pro
that
golfer.
moment.
I couldn't make it, so.
You never know. You never know.
I'd have to
That
get
old
pretty, I'd have
woman
to get
can
pretty
do it.
lucky. So.
Yo, she crushed
Sounds
it.
like she was very lucky. I'm going to be honest. I didn't see it. Now I feel like we need to pull up this video somehow, but I didn't see it. I feel like it was luck. Right?
It might have been luck, but she absolutely did kill it. We are actually going to run to a quick commercial break, guys, and when we come back, we're going to ask more questions from you guys and talk about some charity.
At Bad Martha, we believe in 3 things: great beer, getting bad, and doing good. Every sip of our premium craft beer is a reminder that there's a paradise out there where you can kick off your boat shoes, let your hair down, and leave it all behind. That paradise is Martha's Vineyard. And while there's a bit of bad in every drop of beer we brew, there's also a whole lot of good in every can or bottle we sell. That's because Bad Martha is built on a simple idea: community first. We're proud of our beer, but we're even more proud of the island that inspired it. So much that we built a second location, Bad Martha Falmouth. We hope you enjoy both just as much as we do, and join us on the island for an afternoon or in Falmouth for a slice of our homemade pizza. Bad Martha. Get bad, do good.
Rob Gronkowski here, ex-superstar in the game of football, and now I am in the business world. And today, I am proud to announce I am part owner with my brother of Ice Shaker. We're all about the grind. We are all about inspiring others to live a healthy lifestyle and be the best person you can be. And that's what Ice Shaker is all about. And that's what we are all about. And that's why we are here today. Because we are out there to live a purpose with joy, with passion, and to inspire optimal health. We are built on toughness. We are built on grinding. We are built on keeping your drink ice cold for more than 30 hours. Check us out. Proud brother, proud family member, iceshaker.com.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah! Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Herd Restaurant, conveniently located here in Metro Square, features locally sourced, delicious meals created by a multi-talented chef. Herd satisfies even the most discerning palate. We love to welcome you to come to Herd so you may eat, drink, and spend time together. Watch for specials on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter feeds at Herd on Main, and come visit soon.
All right, everybody, we want to welcome you back to another episode of Boss Babes. And in studio, we have special guest host Andrea Cadigan, and obviously our special guest in studio is Matt Parziale. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to send them below. We obviously are looking at the live feed. Also, I want to give a shout out to Vanity Lab Med Spa out in Fall River. They have a really cute... Two girls actually run it. You can go there and get waxes done, get your lips done, get tattoo removals. I just want to give them a shout out because I went to visit them earlier and they're super cool. And I love the fact that there are two women that started their own business and their own company. So go check them out. Vanity Lab Med Spa out
treat
in
yourself.
Fall River. Yeah, I know that a lot of the Patriots cheerleaders and whatnot like to get waxes and get their hair done and stuff like that. So it's definitely a good place to get treated. I want to kick it off to Drea because she's going to ask a couple more questions.
Right back into it. Ask Matt a few more questions. We saw some here that I really liked. Paul, who I think you know Paul, he wants to know what you like about insurance.
Working with Paul. No, we're a great team. We do very well together, and it's just a blast. So,
yeah.
He's been very helpful to me in this new industry, so I've really enjoyed working with him the last year and a half.
Well, I love that he's watching.
Yeah, me too.
And Brian wants to know, Matt, who is your caddy of choice?
Well, he knows it's my dad, but if my dad's out, he's the next one in. So that's Brian Blanchard.
So they both just wanted you to give them some compliments.
They're trying to get in the show somehow.
Yeah. Well, there they are. Brian and Paul. Thank you. Thank you.
Super cool. So you guys got your fun shout outs, and we want to switch into charity because as you guys know, we love to talk charity here on Boss Babe. So we want to pop up this really cool photo of Kemba Walker and also Jason Tatum. You guys probably know recently there was the All-Star game. I believe it was last weekend. I don't know if any of you guys watched the dunk contest, but my dad and I were watching it live. It was super cool. People were trying to literally run and jump and dunk over Taco Fall, which I don't know who the hell in their right mind would try to do something like that because this guy's like 7'25", which doesn't even make sense, but the guy is so tall. Tall man, but I wanted to pop that up because two Celtics players were there competing, Jason Tatum and Kemba Walker. And the reason why I wanted to bring it up was Kemba Walker, not only does he kill it on the court, but he also works with a program called Basketball Without Borders. He traveled a few years back in 2017 to Africa, South Africa actually, to help develop basketball skills with the youth And he also helped build some homes again in South Africa. And this is a really cool quote from Kemba. He said, "It's been life-changing and making me want to expand on my traveling. My community service work," he said, "building the houses puts things in perspective and a super humbling experience." So again, I wanted to talk a little bit about the All-Star game and the fact that Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart has his own Young Game Changer Foundation that Emma and I covered a few months back. A lot of these athletes give back not only on the court, inspiring young athletes, but also off the court, giving back in other ways. What do you guys think about athletes and charity? I know that Dre is involved with a lot of it with the New England Patriots as well.
Well, yeah, and outside of that, too, I think a lot of people, I mean, you see so many charities, so it's great to kind of focus on what each athlete or, just individual is doing and seeing, like, what is important to them. So I think it's great. I did not watch the All-Star game. I don't know about
I didn't watch it either. I was skiing.
No.
But
I heard good things about the dunk contest, but I have to say I did not watch it.
I didn't either. But I do think all in all sports are so good with charities. Just because a lot of these people, people come from all over to play sports, so come from all different areas, and I think everyone does a great job of giving back. So
yeah, if you have a voice, then it should be heard, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. Especially if you have that strong platform, it's great to be that platform, be that face, and give back. And again, we see it all the time, and we're going to be talking about Matt's charity involvement shortly, but the New England Patriots, for example, they're always out there giving back, shaving heads, raising money for different foundations, whether it be the cheerleaders doing something, raising money, or the athletes themselves raising money. There's always a great way to use your platform to give back to the community, and that's a big part of the Boss Babe Show, as you guys know. Emma and I work a lot with the Boston Bruins alumni team and also the Boston Bruins themselves. So I recently went a few weeks back. I know you're an ice hockey fan, so Matt, you're going to like talking about this. The Boston Bruins had a really cool event. Oh, and it was first responder related, so we could chat about that too. The Boston Bruins did a really cool event called the Boston Bruins Be Fit Challenge, and what they did was people gathered at the TD Garden, and there were teams of FBI, members of the FBI, members of the police, members of the fire. They had teams set up, and they were running an obstacle course at TD Garden, and essentially they were raising money for first responders. So I was there. I took part in it. I didn't actually run the course, but it was great to interview some people and see how the Boston Bruins and first responders are giving back. So I want to roll that tape, and we could chat a little bit about being a first responder, giving back, and about the Boston Bruins. We're here today for the 4th annual Boston Bruins Be Fit Challenge. Everybody behind me is running around and raising money for first responders. The Boston Bruins Foundation recently hosted their 4th annual Be Fit Challenge in support of local heroes and first responders. Teams ran around TD Garden raising money for a great cause as family and friends cheered them on. I caught up with Kelly. Her husband was running the course.
We're here to support my husband, Steve DeBillis. He's a K-9 officer with the Quincy Police Department. The kids have been having all kinds of fun. They can't wait to go touch the trucks, jump in the houses, see all the supporters here. My husband and I grew up in the Boston area, so to be here supporting the Boston Bruins Foundation and to get our kids involved and let them see a taste of all that Boston has to offer is huge to us.
Former Boston Bruins Andrew Raycroft and PJ Stock were also in attendance. Andrew gave a great speech, and former Bruins enforcer PJ told me he was happy to be back in the city in support of the first responders.
Super fun to be back. Greatest time of my life was living here in Boston and playing for the Spoke Bee, and when there's an opportunity for me to come back from Montreal to do whatever I can to help give back to the community that gave me some of the best memories of my life. A great cause, heroes that save lives, and when they're not saving lives, they're raising money to save other people's lives. It's just something that I really want to be part of, and I'm happy to be here. Really lucky to play on a team that was just a great time to be part of the organization. We had a tough team. We had our best player was Joe Thornton. He's probably one of the toughest guys in the league, and we had a mentality that when you put this jersey on, it's no one's beating you for the puck, and if they do, we're going to beat them up and take the puck back.
You may be wondering where all of this money raised is going and how the first responders trained for the event. Well, Chris has all of the answers.
I'm here with the Easton Police Department. We raise money for families of fallen first responders, so all the money donated goes to any family that's had a fallen first responder. Wind sprints in the parking lot, in the parking garage, a lot of high knees, and a lot of hydration the night before. You can take that whatever way you want.
I'm Brittany Baldessari at TD Garden, the Boss Babes. I loved being there. I thought that was such a fun event. And the running joke Chris was talking about, when he is alluding to the fact of keeping hydrated, he actually means crushing back beers. Because when I tell you, these guys, they were there obviously to raise money, but they were there to have a good time. I remember being downstairs getting ready with my camera equipment, and they were just like chugging beers, having a good time. I mean, why not? You're raising money, you're with your friends, and you're having a good time.
So a lot of high knees, a lot of hydration. He's just throwing back beers. Love that. I love that.
Sounds like a firefighter event. There's beers involved.
And Matt, you were telling me that the Brockton Fire Department happened to be there, and they were a part of the course.
Yeah, I saw on Facebook. I think maybe a dozen were doing that, so that was really cool to see them out there. I think they do it every year.
This event?
Yeah, they. I never did. I didn't have the legs to do it, but
didn't have the high knees.
Exactly. So, but really cool. So.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you lightly, would you ever do it's not really necessarily a competition, it's more for fun, but would you ever participate in a charity event like that, whether it be with the Brockton Fire Department or with Golf Charity?
Yeah, or we could put a team together.
So. Yeah, love to see that. I was going to say, I wish we got you running those courses.
I wanted to, and we tried to put together a Boss Babes team. You were actually going to be a part of it if we did it. We're going to plan on doing it next year. It was just too hard assembling a team and getting everything together, especially with our show being so new. But we'll have you be a part of it next year.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first. We plan to be there next year, so keep updated with that. But let's talk about the Boston Bruins and how much they give back to the community. I know that you were a big ice hockey fan growing up, and I believe Andrea obviously grew up in the area, and she loves ice hockey as well. What was it like watching an event like that and having the Brockton Fire Department be a part of such a great cause?
Yeah, it's really cool to see that. And I think all the teams, the Red Sox, the Patriots, the Celtics, they all do a great job. I think the Patriots put a playground in on the north side of Brockton a few years ago, and you drive by and you see the Patriots sign there. So they're involved even all the way down in Brockton, just trying to help out. So I think that stuff is great.
Well, yeah, I feel like in New England, I mean, you're such a big sports community, big city, you know, that like you always see the good work that they're doing. It's all around here, and that's what I love, you know. It's a big community.
It's such a big community, and playing off of what Andrea just said, that's a big part of our show, and I know I keep mentioning it, but a lot of these people don't even know that there's events going on like the Be Fit Challenge or Sweet Feet for Kicks, which is run by oh my god, I'm drawing a blank right now. James White. There we go. I'm like, hold on. I can picture his face.
I knew you were going to get it.
Yeah, I'm like, she's looking at me. So James White actually did a really fun event. Marcus Smart with the Celtics did a really fun event. So a lot of these athletes, they come together in whether they're hosting a golf tournament or hosting something at the Garden or doing something at Gillette Stadium. There's always some fun going on. And I want to ask a couple quick questions. I know I'll have Andrea ask some as well. Chris wants to know, outside of golf, being a golf pro, or golf pros that you've played against, who's the most famous person you have golfed with, if any?
Oh man, played Teddy Bruschi this past summer at Old Sandwich. He was a great guy. A lot of fun to play with. Mostly just played with a lot of professional golfers. They're probably the biggest names I've played with. So
yeah. What do you guys talk about?
I was supposed to play with Tom Brady. What's that?
Oh.
I was supposed to. It's a really funny story. It was just after the U.S. Open. I have a really good friend, Jimmy Dunn. When 9/11 happened, his office was there, and he was playing the U.S. Mid-Am qualifier, so he wasn't there. And he's just done so much for giving back to the whole tragedy. He's best friends with Tom Brady. So about around 4th of July last year, my phone rings. It's Jimmy Dunn. And Jimmy's been saying, hey, we're going to play with Tom. Don't worry, we're going to play.
You're anticipating it.
Yes. So he calls and he goes, hey, Matty, I got some bad news. We're going to have to wait till after the season to play with Tom. I said, Jimmy, no problem. It's fine. And the next words I hear, hey, Matt, it's Tom Brady. Jimmy put Tom on the phone. So I got to chat with him for about 5 minutes. And it was, Tom goes, man, what's your problem? You stood me up a couple weeks ago because I was supposed to play with him during the U.S. Open, but I had a prior event that I had to cancel on him. So he was giving me a hard time.
Wait, you canceled on Tom?
I did, yep.
Hold on, you canceled on Tom. Who the heck would cancel on Tom?
I'd drop everything.
I know. Jimmy told me I couldn't do it. So I had an event with the USGA. It was during the U.S. Open that I couldn't miss. I probably should have missed it. Now
that we're telling you needed to miss it.
But so if Tom sees this, we got to play Tom. So
yeah, absolutely. I was saying, what what do you guys talk about when you golf? Like what?
Everything. That's the best part
everything.
about golf. Like, it's not just golf, it's life, it's family, it's work, it's whatever.
You're really getting to know the guys.
Exactly. You get to find out more about a person in 4 hours of playing with them than anywhere else than you possibly could in the world.
Wow. So you could have had some great conversations with
I
Tom
know.
Brady.
Now I'm feeling even worse than I did before.
Do you have any funny stories that you could tell us? Whether it be something that happened on the field or the course with Tiger Woods or Teddy Bruschi. Give us something that nobody else knows about that happened on the course with you playing and having fun.
So when I was playing with Tiger, my dad was caddying for me. It was the practice round of the Masters. We were on the 6th hole, and at the time, a guy in the crowd, he went down, like he was having medical issues.
Oh no!
So I looked at my dad, and I mean, we're both firefighters. I said, "Do you want to do this?" And he goes, "We kind of have to go check."
Yeah, he's like, "Well, we have to, son."
So we went over and looked, and he was fine.
Yeah.
And we're walking off, and Tiger goes, "Why did you guys do that?" And I said, "Well, if the guy's not in good shape and 2 firefighters are standing there and no one helps him, it kind of looks bad on us." So Tiger was joking about that after for a few holes. And
how cool is that? What a great, that's like another thing that you got to do with your dad.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
and Tiger Woods is like, oh, that's pretty awesome.
Exactly.
That guy's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Tiger's over there like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And you're like, actually, I'm a firefighter. Brush your shoulders off a little bit. I think that's super cool. And it's good to know that you are multi-talented and you can do more than one thing, not just play golf, because a lot of these people, not to knock people that just play sports, because of course being a pro athlete takes an immense amount of talent, an immense amount of training, but somebody like Megan Kang, for example, all she really does is golf and she's great at what she does. So it's good to see somebody like you that can put your time and effort and practice into both saving people's lives, essentially, and golfing, like, and being a great golfer, like Golf Digest said.
Yeah.
I have a question actually for Drea from Robert Hare. I think he's Robert Hare. If you're still watching,
Love
we see
Rob.
you. I think
I've known Rob for years.
Yeah, he's actually a photographer, I believe, and he works alongside Eric Snyder.
Yeah.
Rob wants to know, Andrea, what's your greatest single moment ever as a Patriots cheerleader? I'm sure you have many, but what is like one standout thing that really sticks out in your mind?
Well, it's funny, kind of, Matt, like what you were saying. I feel like anything that involves family, I think that those are the memories or the moments that you remember the most. So I always say it, and I think I said it at your very first Boss Babes episode as well. I think it was my second year cheering because my mother was a Patriots cheerleader and my sister was a Patriots cheerleader, and they did an alumni cheerleading game. So they got to come back, and I was able to like be with my mom and my sister at the game on the fields, which was really cool. And I will always remember that. So that, and then also my grandfather was the doctor for the Patriots. So last year or 2 years ago, I got him to a game, and now he's not doing so well. So like that's just a great memory, to have. Like I said, like it's things with your family
Absolutely.
that resonate with you the most. So
I think that's cool, and you guys have both touched upon family throughout the course of the episode tonight, and it kind of just goes hand in hand with what we've been talking about with the charity, giving back, family, inspiring others. And speaking of inspiring others, Matt, what do you have in store as far as, I know that you participate in some charity golf tournaments, so how do you give back to the community? I know that we only have a couple minutes left to the show. I think there's like 6 or 7 minutes left. I'm always looking at the clock. Unfortunately, the show goes by fast. 2 minutes, it looks like. So we want to know, talk a little bit about your charity involvement and backstory on 9/11. I know that you said that people came together, the first responders came together for 9/11.
Yeah, so my sports psychologist, Greg Carton, he's lives in the Boston area. We started doing some things with high school golf teams to not only about helping them with golf, but life and playing golf for the right reasons and how to use golf to your advantage, whether it be work, playing, relationships, whatever it is. So we've done some chats with them, and we're going to do more in the future. He's invited me to some camps with bigger groups of kids. So I think what I see in golf is a lot of the kids are playing golf, trying to be on the PGA Tour, and that's not the reality. If they play golf for the right reasons, and this game will take care of you if you take care of it, and that's kind of the way I've approached it, and I've been very fortunate enough to be in these circles.
That's awesome.
I think that's incredible, and I love the fact that you are using, again, like we've been speaking about, your platform to help inspire others and give back. And we usually wrap up the night with some positive pop, so I'm going to toss it over to Drea. What is some positive pop? Like, do you have a fun mantra that you go by, or what is something that's been inspiring you lately?
Well, so, I mean, we talked about it before the show, the positive pop, so I was kind of trying to think about it, and I don't know if either of you had seen, but I watched it for the first time last night. It's a wonderful Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. So I don't know if you had seen it, but it's the Mr. Rogers movie, and I don't know, Mr. Rogers was just an amazing guy, and basically what he lived by is just being kind to people. So I feel like just leaving it at that.
That's a great,
That's awesome.
That's a great mantra.
Great
And
movie, by the way. Highly recommend seeing it.
Gotta watch it.
Gotta go see it.
Yes.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Thank you, Matt, for coming in studio. Drea, as always, love having you in studio. You guys will see more of her. And we just want you guys to, if you want to follow Andrea on social media or Matt, feel free to do so. And you guys can obviously follow the Boss Babes online. And our next episode will be March 9th. We hope to see you there.
Awesome.